When you want to edit the main instruction of a script object that you've now dragged in, that is accessed by right-clicking on any script object in your schema and then saying Edit Main Load. From there, you'll be brought to the wizard, be it whatever mapping type that you're using, ODBC, OLEDB, inline, resident. You'll all be driven through a wizard. You'll start off with your connection type that you have, so you're using the Northwind connection. You'll see your SQL script, which you can then further modify by saying Edit SQL. And this will then open up a comprehensive SQL editor. If you've got extensive SQL skills, then you might want to use this instead of traditional QVScriptor scripting itself. So you can drag in extra objects in here, you can define loads, outers, joins, whatever you want, and then defining the expressions, the aggregations, the aliases, the sort types, the groupings, so on and so forth. From here you'll also be able to view the data, a sample set of what is in your SQL table, and what fields are in that existing SQL table as well. After the SQL editor, next you'll be listed with the resulting columns. Now from here you can modify the alias in order to give a final name of what you want of a field, which you'll get here. You could define if you actually want it as an output. So if you didn't want to include product ID, you could unselect it and now it wouldn't be included in your schema object. You can define a group by, so if you're summing, for example, sales or unit price, you could group by that in order for the instruction to work correctly. But in this case, we're going to add an extra field, which is what we can do, and we're going to calculate sales from here. So you can go ahead and click the append button. Automatically it'll create a new line for you with an example expression here. I could go ahead and type in here what I wanted my expression to be, or I can click the triple dot and I will be presented with the expression editor. What I can do with the expression editor then from here, so I want to calculate sales. So I'm going to do unit price. I can just double click, or I could also type it in myself with my click view operator, times quantity times, and then in brackets 1 minus discount, and close the bracket. This is a simple example of creating an expression, but we have listed here all the other functions that you can use. So if you want to use basic aggregation, conditional functions, and anyone that you hover on top will give you also a brief description and an example of how to use it. If you're working with dates, you can also add in current date, current time, first day of the year, things like that. Or you can input strings in terms of variables, file names, folder names for include situations. So once you've put in your expression, you can go ahead and click OK. And you'll see now my expression has got unit price, but it still hasn't got an alias, and the final name is my expression. So for my alias here, I'm just going to type sales, and that will automatically change my final name then. From here I can say next, and I'll be lastly presented with my QVScript that's available and my new formula that I created. The load prefix and the load suffix will also go ahead and look at those more in depth a little bit later. If you wanted to test your app in QlikView, you could also say test in QlikView, and this would open up QlikView to ensure that your formula is correct. Once you're done with that, click next and finish. And as you'll see, there's my new field that I just created called sales.